Hey y'all, welcome back to another hunting ammo ballistics gel test. Today I've got Federal PowerShok 180 grain heavyweights in 350 Legend. And here's the box for that Federal PowerShok 180 grain jacketed soft point load for the 350 Legend. This is a heavyweight load for 350 Legend right here. We've got the deer icon, so I assume that's what this is meant for. Deer, bear, sort of your standard medium game stuff. Flipping it around to the back, here's your PowerShok promo information. Feel free to stop, pause, and read all that if you would like to. Coming over to the left, we've got our velocity data. 2100 feet per second at the muzzle. There's not a barrel length mentioned here. We will be shooting this out of a 16-inch barreled Ruger American Ranch, so we'll see how close we get to that. Now, something to note, a similar load that I tested was the Winchester PowerShok 180 grain and 350 Legend. I did that quite a while ago. We got very little expansion and extremely deep penetration because 180 grains for 350 Legend is rather heavy, and it's tough for the velocity of the cartridge to expand a bullet that heavy, especially when it's just a jacketed soft point and not some sort of a hollow point. Just a note, it'll be interesting to see if that's what happens here or if we get some expansion and major flattening of the tip. And here is your ammo, your standard Federal plastic ammo holder. Let's go ahead and whip one out and take a look. And there it is, your standard soft point 180 grain heavyweight in the 350 Legend. Let's go shoot it and see how it does. And my test rifle today is my Ruger American Ranch, chambered in 350 Legend, of course. It's got a 16-inch barrel up top. I've got a Vortex Crossfire 2 scope. And coming on back, I've got one of my 20-round magazine cuffs. You pop that open, you got a 20-round magazine close at hand right there. Really helps turn the Ruger American Ranch into the perfect truck gun, camp gun, anything you could need it for. Coming around to the other side, I've got my white-tailed deer design on this one. Check out my website, masonleather.com. I would absolutely love to make you one. I will link it in the description and in the pinned comment. And real quick, if you're watching this video anytime around when it came out, I'm having a huge sale on my website, masonleather.com. Go check it out and get yourself something.
We'll be taking 3 shots from 100 yards, firing into 10% ballistics gel that has been calibrated to meet the FBI's ballistics testing protocol. And while ballistics gel isn't an exact proxy for big game, it does provide a repeatable medium through which to test various bullets and ammo against each other. After the shots, we'll examine bullet expansion, weight retention, penetration, and velocity. My goal is to provide hunters like you and I with the most objective information possible to help us make the best choice for our particular hunting situation. The ballistics gel in this video has been sourced from Clear Ballistics. You can find a link in the description.
So let's go ahead and shoot it. And here are your velocities for that Federal PowerShok 180 grain soft point load out of the 350 Legend. Minimum 2132, maximum 2171, average 2153. And we are down here at the blocks after shooting those Federal PowerShok 180 grain heavyweights out of the 350 Legend. And we're going to wrap up the entire review here, right down here at the blocks, because I have no bullets to show you. All the bullets, and I fired quite a few, more than 3, trying to catch some for you guys. I came down and set up a third block, which usually you don't need, but we have penetration beyond 48 inches. That's the 48-inch mark right there. All the bullets penetrated completely through 3 blocks, 4 feet plus, and are, somewhere back there in the dirt mound. And in terms of wound cavity, it's a little hard to tell with the lighting here, but the wound cavity up front really isn't anything to write home about. It's rather narrow. Makes sense at 180 grain soft point. It probably didn't expand hardly at all, hence why we got 4 foot plus of penetration. All right, y'all, so we're going to talk about what we can with this Federal PowerShok 180 grain soft point 350 Legend load, being that we didn't recover any of the bullets, but that doesn't mean I don't have some data that I would like to share with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. Weight retention, no idea. Probably 180 grains based on the ridiculous penetration these things got. We're talking over 4 feet of penetration. I'm assuming those bullets held together. Expanded diameter, again, I have no idea, but probably not very much. Based off some other heavyweight 350 Legend loads I've tested in the past, other soft point 180 grain loads performed very similar to this in terms of excess penetration, and they didn't expand a whole ton, so I would think that that's what these are doing, not expanding much and just penetrating ridiculously deep. Velocity-wise, we can talk about that. Our high velocity was 2172. Our low was 2132 for an average of 2154 versus the factory build velocity of 2100 feet per second. So we came in 54 feet per second faster than box spec, which is always nice to see. This stuff was hot. And our estimated velocity at impact at 100 yards is about 1,874 feet per second. And then penetration wise, we can talk about that somewhere beyond 4 feet, beyond 48 inches. These bullets were zipping all the way through 4 gel blocks. I mean, they just keep going. And then kinetic energy wise, with a 180 grain bullet going on average 2,154 feet per second, we're looking at 1,854 foot-pounds of energy at the muzzle, which is on the upper end for 350 Legend hunting loads. Most of the time they're in their 1,700 to 1,800 foot-pound range. This is up towards the top of that. And then our estimated kinetic energy at 100 yards at impact is about 1,403 foot-pounds. And a quick announcement before we get to my final thoughts: if you'd like early access to my videos weeks and even months in advance of everyone else, become a channel member. The links will be in the video description and the pinned comment. Thanks, y'all. So my final thoughts on this Federal PowerShok 180 grain soft point load out of the 350 Legend. I wish I could have recovered the bullets, but they just kept on going. Based on other tests in the past, I think if you need a 350 Legend load that's just gonna punch on through, this could be an option for you. But if you want some expansion and any kind of shock up front at all, which the 350 Legend already isn't the best at, it doesn't give a big punch up front. Almost none of the loads do. This might not be what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking to go through both shoulders of a big boar hog or something like that, or go end to end on a deer, I think these will do it for you. So if you or anybody you know have used this ammo on game, let me and everyone else know how it did down in the comments. And check out my website masonleather.com and get yourself some leather gear handmade by me just for you. I've been handcrafting leather gear for hunters for over a decade, and I would love to make you something. And there are hundreds of reviews on my website, so you can see what real hunters have to say about their Mason leather gear. And also tons of photos showing all the customizable options, including name, initial, and caliber stamping, as well as wild game designs and more. Everything is handmade by me right here in the USA. I would love to be a part of your hunt through my leather gear. And it helps support this channel, so I can bring you more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests, and lots of other cool stuff in the future. The link will be in the video description and the pinned comment, or you can just type masonleather.com into your web browser.
And click one of these cards for more hunting ammo ballistics gel tests.